Hey guys, I'm back. And before I get rid of this, I wanted to show you guys what you can do with the leftover paint on your table. I thought about letting this dry and using it as a skin, but I really have nowhere to put it. I have a wet painting on my bedroom floor at the moment. I've got one sitting on top of my washing machine. So yeah, I have nowhere to place such a big skin to let it dry because I wanted to paint some more. And this is the only space that I have to paint. So anyway, this is left over from painting that I did a short while back. And then I didn't like it, so I flipped it over. I put a little bit of white paint in it, flipped it over, smushed it down, and then pulled the canvas up. So I'm going to save the canvas, use it as a multimedia piece. And I have some ceramic tiles. All I did was wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, just to get all the dirt and fingerprints off of it. And then what I'm going to do, I always do the edges first, because if you do the top first and then the edges, some of the edge paint will come over onto the top and ruin your pattern. So, little hint there. So you just set it down in the paint, kind of rock it back and forth to pick it up, and there you go. See? It, you know, they're not going to be the prettiest of tiles because these colors are really going to, you know, they've obviously, you can see how they've already mixed around a lot. But I don't know, you know, some people might want dark and kind of, I won't say dirty looking, but, you know, you kind of get what I'm saying there. And then you're just going to take it, and this one's going to be a little harder to pick up than the last one I did. The last one I did was a little bitty 4x4. And just kind of set it and kind of push it. Try not to move it too much, but you want the paint to kind of squeeze out a little bit to make the pattern. Just to make sure that you got all of your tile covered, because if you don't and you have to put it back down, it's probably not going to be a very pretty pattern. Try and pick it up. And there you go. I mean, not a paint pouring tile, but still, you know, I think they're cool. So just set those off to the side, let them dry. And then once they're all dry, you're going to pour some resin over them. Now these are going to take 2 coats of resin, because the first layer, because these have silicone in them and I cannot wash them because the paint will just come right off of the paint will come right off the tiles, because these tiles are so slick. You know, you can see it just wipes right off. So you have to be really careful when you're putting resin on these. So you put the resin on, and you're going to have sort of some little dents where the silicone is coming through. And if you kind of work at it, some of them you can work out. Now I saw somebody one time, a long time ago, actually put silicone into their resin and kind of mixed it around, and that kind of worked to get rid of the... oddly enough, it kind of worked. I'm not really sure why that worked, but it did. Oh, and see, we missed that corner there. So we'll just set it back down somewhere else. Actually, I'll probably just set it down right there again. Oops. And not real pretty. What you can do is you can either leave it like that. I mean, it's kind of pretty, but it's a little jumbled. I don't really care for that one, so I'm going to just kind of wipe some of that paint off. I'm just going to set it down somewhere else. You don't want to leave all that paint on there to do it again, because it'll get too thick. This paint's already a little thick because it's been sitting here overnight. So I really don't want to... you see that my edges have kind of gone bad too. I'm not really sure this one's going to work out too well. Just trying to see if all the edges are covered, because it's kind of a mess. There we go. And like I said, these are going to be some dark tiles, but that's okay. Some people like dark. I like dark sometimes. Just kind of rock them back and forth, pick up the prettier. See, there's a, you know, you can pick up the pretty colors. And then let's see, let's put it down somewhere else. About, let's do right there. There we go. That's a nice kind of thick patch of paint. My fingers are just barely long enough to stretch corner to corner on that. There we go. That's a little prettier. It's kind of pretty. I'll take it. Set it over there out of the way. And when you're all done, just, you know, pop the torch over it just to get rid of the air bubbles. You're not really hoping for, you know, cells at this point, especially after it's been sitting here for a day. Just pick up some more paint on the edges, rock them back and forth. Just want to make sure you've got everything covered. We'll do that one again. There we go. There we go. Okay, and let's try. About. We still have one more tile, so I have to be careful. I need to save a little bit of pretty for that last tile. And make sure your paint is nice and wet where you set your tile down. Otherwise, you're not going to have a very pretty tile when you pick it up. I'm just trying to decide where to put this because it's dried to about right there. So let's just put it there. Mash it down a little bit. Make sure it's all covered, hopefully. My fingers are getting so wet, it's hard to pick these up. There we go. Kind of pretty. It looks kind of like a spider web almost. And last but not least, let's do this one. Okay, let's do it over here. There we go. Okay, and I think I'm going to set it down right there. And try not to move it around too much because your colors will blend into that poor tile. Okay, my fingers are actually getting sore from grabbing the points of these corner of this tile. I just stuck my finger through it. Okay, but that's okay. It's still pretty. Stuck my finger right there. I don't know how you can't really tell. Let's you kind of stick your finger in it and yank it. It pulls some of that paint that was already on the tile off and kind of hides your fingerprint there. Okay, so that one's done as well. So we're just going to let those dry for a while. Probably, you know, obviously at least probably a good week or two. Probably more, you know, like a couple of weeks until I get the resin out again. So they're all kind of dark, but they're kind of pretty, and you've not wasted quite as much paint as you thought you were going to waste. I'm just trying to wash all the paint off my hands real quick. Sorry, guys. Alright, so that was just a little quick how-to on what to do with some of your leftover paint that you don't want to. I mean, I'd love to save that. It's still pretty, but I just don't have the room for it. So let me get you down. We'll show you the individual tiles. Alright, there is the first one we did. Let's see if I can get you in for a close-up. Just lots of pretty blending colors. And yes, we have a little bit of mud, but we could just say that was brown, you know, that we put in there on purpose. So, and I believe this was number 2, and it has a lot of blue in it, so it's a little brighter than the other ones. And this one is number 3. Yes, kind of muddied, but I like it. It's, you know, it's simple but pretty. And then down here we have number 4. And I like what these sort of wavy blues and greens did down here. They kind of mixed, but they still look pretty. Okay. So, this is where I'm going to leave you for today. And I will show you guys after I resin them what they turn out to be. But, you know, it's going to be several weeks, so be patient. Alright, wherever you are on the planet, hope you have an awesome afternoon, day, evening, or night. And thank you to all my subscribers and my viewers. I love you all. See you later. Bye.